This is the 49 Carats Prospect Spotlight. I'm having internet issues, so not sure if it played the intro, but anyway, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the 49 Carats Prospect Spotlight, where you get a chance to learn more about NFL draft hopefuls. I'm Steph Sanchez here again with my internet issues, thanks to Xfinity. But joining me today, and I'm very excited about this one, is Air Force safety Trey Taylor. Trey, how are you doing today?
Doing good. Happy to be here on the phone with you, and just working out right now, having a good time at my facility, and enjoying the process.
Love it. Yeah, very excited to have you on. Uh Definitely excited to learn about, your journey throughout all this as you prepare for this next step in your football career. So let's get right into it. So like Trey, like you could have went just about anywhere to play in college. You could have probably had the more conventional college experience, but you chose Air Force, which includes some added responsibility, right? Like including, being active duty. I have to imagine there was like a specific reason you felt like Air Force was the right choice for you. So what gravitated you to what Air Force had to offer, both from the football standpoint and even outside of that?
Yeah, so really good question. The first big reason is really cliche, like you'd hear it if you were a recruit there over and over and over. But I mean, it really is for like the longevity of my life, and my family, and my generations after me that come after me, with the benefits that I can have from the Air Force and the money that my family would be able to attain. Like it was really a big win-win for me whenever they were recruiting me. There were a lot of other schools that would have taken me and that I could have committed to, but the academy gave me the best balance, in my opinion, of academics and playing at a pretty high level of football, and so I couldn't really pass that opportunity up. Like I I love my time there at the academy, and actually going through the academy and taking it day by day. I realized that there's nothing better than being able to serve your country, and I look forward to doing that when time comes as well.
Yeah, I definitely love that. About choosing Air Force, definitely, rewarding as well. And it's not a surprise to me that you had a lot of interest coming out of high school because you were a dog out of out of high school, man. Like hell of an athlete. You played football and track. So your first couple years at Air Force, you didn't see any action. You had to kind of grind your way to some playing time. What was that time like for you? Were there any adjustments like you needed to make mentally or even in your game that you think helped you get back on the field?
So my first year, most freshmen don't play. If you're a freshman that plays them, and you got a bright future ahead of you. But freshman year was really like development year. That was a development stage, and people really wanting to, get you to sit back and understand what the academy was really about, get your grades buckled down, and all that fancy stuff. But the second year, I was prepared to step into the role, and then COVID hit, and so I went home for a semester while the COVID season was going on. I didn't want one of those seasons counting as, my actual season. It would have just been like a 5 game season. I didn't really want that to be, what I considered a full year. So I
Mhm.
took that off, came back and helped my family. Uh, and then, God willingly, I got to step back into that spot whenever it came back to the next season. But man, when I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off. Like I didn't really know what I was doing out there my first year. I was just having fun out there playing ball. It was like elementary school again. I was see ball in the air, trying to make a play on the ball. There wasn't much instinct. I mean, it was all instinct. There wasn't much like film watching or anything like that. It wasn't much really paying attention to, you know, um, things in the game that you should be paying attention to. There was none of that. But junior and senior year, I really buckled down on film. Started to understand small aspects of the game that it just really takes reps. Like it really takes reps to get things under the belt. There are things that quarterbacks do, quarterback by quarterback variants, but there are things that quarterbacks do that you start to see, and over and over, you start to make more plays on them just because of getting those reps under your belt. So definitely the reps help me out, and then just being able to watch film and pick up on small tendencies, that's going to help anybody.
So let me talk about, or let's talk about that for a second, because when you watch film study, yeah, you talk about, the trends, the tendencies that you tend to watch for your opponent, and being a safety, like, you kind of have to know the entire defense. Like, you're not just looking at one particular position, right? Because you never know who you're going to be up against, having to tackle them, right? So when you watch film, walk me through the process. What are you kind of paying attention to? What are some of the tendencies for, like, the overall defense that you try to look for?
Um, so really, I pay attention to the quarterback and the tackles the most. There are small things like with the receivers, with you know, what receiver is on or off the ball, depending on which receiver will be running the deepest route or what route combos they'll have from those positions or where they're aligned, whether it's the divider or wherever they're at on the field. Then look at personnel, especially if they're in, like, we used to play against a lot of like 12 personnel or 21 personnel, and so big bodies on the field. I knew that I'd be in the run game a little bit more, so I could take a little bit more control up there with my linebackers and even the defensive line, getting the calls situated and around everybody else. But the biggest thing for me is really quarterbacks. Like, quarterbacks tell me almost everything. Um, whether they like to stare down somebody, whether they double pump whenever they're about to throw the ball versus a single pump when they're really just trying to, fake you out. How they put their hands on the ball, where their feet are aligned when it's run versus pass. Like, there's a bunch of small stuff that you can pick up. Sometimes hard to see in the game, but once you actually get like a lot of reps and are able to slow the game down, you can start to see it play by play before something happens. And so it'll be funny. Me or some of the guys that watch film with me during the season will be able to call something out before the play actually happens, and when that play actually like comes to fruition, it's like, wow, like that film watch.
Yeah, it's kind of like you could tell the future, right? Like, I'm sure that's a great feeling to know what's coming your way, and be prepared for that. This past year, you had a hell of a season at Air Force. You were named first team All American by the American Football Coaches Association. You were a third team selection by Associated Press, and also you were awarded the Jim Thorpe Award as the nation's top defensive back. That's a big honor, like all of those. How did it feel to finish up your 2023 season like you did, and then being able to reap the benefits of that, and get the recognition as well?
Um, it definitely felt good. Uh, but there's always something in the back of your head. At the time that I received that, we were on a 3-game losing streak when we started 8-0. So I would have enjoyed it a little bit more if my team was doing what I feel like we could have accomplished that year. But no, it was definitely still um, very, very life changing, honestly. I've been an underdog like my whole life. That's just how I was raised. That's how I've carried myself throughout the years, and that's how it is now. Like, you see me, I'm sitting on my car. They got the combine going on right now, and I'm seeing
Mhm.
games that are going. And I'm watching some of the people's film that are going. And no disrespect to anybody, but it's really confusing. And so, I carry that everywhere I go, and so I'm gonna keep doing that. And it feels really good to get these awards, but it's bigger than football. A lot of these awards, like Jim Thorpe,
Yeah.
yeah, it's way bigger than just football. But yeah, that that recognition to the public eye only goes so far.
Yeah, and you mentioned the fact that immediately just going to, well, we didn't achieve what we wanted to as a team, or didn't finish how we wanted to as a team. So to me, like, it strikes me that you're a team player kind of guy, right? And the individual awards is cool and all, but at the end of the day, it isn't the end goal for you. And you mentioned the combine, of course. Yeah, we're all aware that's happening right now. How are you kind of using that, and the fact that you didn't get an invite, like, as motivation going forward, as you prepare for this next level?
Yeah, it fuels me. um, from high school and college recruiting to finally getting to college, being a small fish in the pond, proving yourself, and then getting to the point in college where you feel like you're starting to solidify yourself as one of the best defensive backs in the nation, and then, um, having pretty solid years and building good film, um, and to get recognition, but to not, get invited to stuff like this, and for some off of just names of schools, it's like it definitely lights a fire under you, and that's why like I push myself every single day. Like all my eggs are in this basket. Like I love football with my whole heart, and so I'm ready to just prove to NFL GMs and you know scouts from all over the country whenever it comes down time for my pro day that I should have been at the combine because I'm gonna test better than a lot of the people that they invited. So they got a lot of question marks about my name. I mean, that's just how it is because, I didn't go to that big school, and I didn't, have the best times in track in high school. But I've been working my butt off to achieve what I've wanted to achieve time wise. So looking forward in 2 weeks to when that pro day hits, me showing America what I really have.
Well, you didn't get an invite to the combine, but you did get the invite to the Shrine Bowl, and that is big as well because it is an opportunity to get in front of scouts from, pretty much all 32 teams. And the Shrine Bowl this season was in Frisco, Texas, your hometown. How did it feel to get that invite and be able to play where it all started?
Yeah, it was. It was it was amazing. Like having all my friends and family there, they just drive 5 minutes up the road to see the game, and for me to play, like literally, I was the first football game to ever be played in the Star. So for us to come back and have the Shrine Bowl event um, at the Star, it was like you couldn't have written a better book. And the Shrine Bowl, like that, really, really, really was a huge opportunity for me because again, there were a lot of question marks about what I could do and if I could do the same thing. I was doing it on the West against people of that caliber, and I was able to prove that and some of the other question marks around my name, like how I compete in one on ones or how I
Mhm.
commanded, all that type of stuff. I was able to prove a lot of that stuff and make those positives in a lot of people's eyes. So definitely a great opportunity. I recommend that opportunity to anybody that can take it. There's a lot of question marks about if people should go to, Senior Bowls and Shrine Bowls and stuff like that after season. And for me, I don't see any other option like that. That definitely solidified me for my future. So very happy about that one.
And it definitely seems like you made the most of that opportunity, right? Like I saw several reps and even, you playing in the game where you made some plays. Um Now from an iron sharpens iron perspective, whether it be in those one-on-ones or in team period, was there any player you kind of locked horns with that, challenged you a bit and or that you liked going up against?
For me, it was a Colorado State tight end, just because he was the best tight end they had on
Yeah.
the team far. But at the same time, like we played against each other the past, I think maybe 2 years, and so like his name had a lot of hype, and they had another tight end come before him that's doing really well in the league right now, McBride for the Cardinals, and so being able to compete against somebody who they compared to McBride, um, I wanted to do that over and over and over, and we went at it over and over and over. Some really good reps between both of us. That film between both of our reps, no matter who won, it could have been, I don't even know. I think I won the most reps, but like his film could have been used for my reps, and my film could have been used for his reps. Like it was just perfect iron sharpens iron moment. But yeah, he's gonna do great at the combine. I'm looking forward to seeing how he does in the draft, and hopefully we end up on the same team.
I mean, there you go. I mean, that just speaks to how big those opportunities are. Like you can imagine there's probably some teams who are really needing a tight end and maybe they were watching him very closely and they go, "Man, who's that guy guarding him? Like he's a dog too." So, those opportunities definitely big and like I said, like you made the most of it. Now when you watch yourself play and you're watching film on yourself, like what are the things that you're kind of critiquing yourself on these days that you feel like you can get better at?
Yeah, I'm my own biggest critic, so funny you asked that question. My thing is really not even. I think my man coverage has gotten a lot better, done a lot much better with man footwork and man fundamentals after the season. So I'm glad I was able to show that. But what comes to me is just really slowing my footwork down. I love running up into any run fit just because I love plugging gaps. I love stopping the run. Um, I love stopping the pass too, but you see on film, I shoot up and fit my gap whenever it might be play action. So just staying more calm on my feet, letting the game come to me and react a little bit more rather than going to try to make a play automatically on the snap. That's definitely going to help me and a lot of scouts' eyes.
And, I'm sure you did get the opportunity to meet with some teams while you were at the Shrine Bowl. Were there any meetings there that, stood out to you and that you just kind of feel were like good conversations?
Yeah, the Niners, the Cardinals, Bears, the Raiders. There was like a big list of teams who showed a lot of interest at the Shrine Bowl, which is huge. I'm really glad that it sounded like real interest. There can be a lot of lies and misconceptions in those meetings. So I'm really happy with the outcome of some of that, but we'll see what happens during pro day and during my the draft itself. We'll see how much of that was real truth, and I'm excited to just see what it was.
And as far as like feedback that you get from teams, like what do they kind of think of you? How do they kind of envision you at the next level? Like what's the consensus?
So a lot of them ask what I feel more comfortable with, playing in the box or playing as a true free. And I tell them that I would feel comfortable with either one. You can plug me in at either. I can learn either, and I can adapt to whatever, especially during game. And then they'll tell me that they've seen punt or punt return or kickoff highlights and ask me if I'm comfortable doing that. So I'm sure whatever team drafts me, they're gonna expect me to be a baller on special teams. And that's just something that comes with the territory of you being a rookie. And so I'm looking forward to proving that I can do more than just play on special teams, but I can change games on special teams. And then also, um, I'm looking forward to prove that I can play in the NFL at my position. So um, yeah, that means feeling really good though. I'm really happy that I went to the Shrine Bowl because I wouldn't have those meetings if not. So
Yeah, definitely. And special teams is huge, man. So it's definitely good to squeeze that in there if you can mention that to some scouts. But I know you mentioned your pro days coming up. You said it in about 2 weeks, right? What's the actual date on that?
March 13th.
Okay, perfect. And so what is a typical training day looking like for you right now?
Yeah, so in the mornings, let's say this is a Tuesday, that's our busiest day. We'll have a workout at 8:30 in the morning, and then DB skills workout at 12:30, and then one more workout at 3:30. So the workout at 3:30 is more like strength and conditioning for the body. The first one is all like speed and power, and then the one in the middle is like that DB work. And so uh, it's busy days, but I wouldn't have it any other way. Like I finally get to do what I love to do 24/7. There's not many times in my life I've ever been able to do this. So I'm taking all this in and really enjoying every second of it.
Yeah, I love it. And you've already seen the results of your hard work paying off. So I'm sure it just makes you want to go a little bit harder. Um, now I did read that Ed Reed is your cousin. That's pretty awesome, man, to be able to say that. And I guess, like, do you watch a lot of Ed Reed tape, or are there any other current or past players that you kind of watch a lot of and try to model your game after?
Yeah. So of course, like you said, Ed funnels me a lot of information. Almost after every game, it was something that I did positive, and then constructive criticism that I can do and make better for the next game. And so that helped big time. You have somebody like Ed Reed talking to you. You open every hole you have to listen to him. And then I like Dante Whitner too. He was a 49ers legend too. He likes when I call him Hitner. But he I was part of his like doghouse in the summer, and we just watched film probably once or twice a week, and just figuring things out, seeing the game from his point of view because he has so much to add to my horizon. That instinctual stuff and looking at different things on the field, like I was talking about at the beginning of the meeting, like he helped with that a lot. And so, small things in the game that you can pick up are gonna like make big plays happen. And what I really like about him too is it was like 50-50. We would talk about football a little bit, but that was towards the end of the conversation. Like the first 50% of the conversation was all about stocks and bonds and dividends and how to make money during football and after football. And so, yeah, I'm gonna keep on using him as a resource for however long I can because football isn't forever, and he's pretty successful after
Yeah.
football.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I mean, Whitner, aka Hitner, yeah, man, he's very well respected, around like 49er fans and all that. And yeah, it's definitely nice to have that resource. Definitely, take advantage of that as much as you can. Now, Trey, I end all my interviews with this question: what is a team or a fan base getting with Trey Taylor, both on and off the field?
Yeah. Well, they're getting a leader. First of all, I'm coming into the locker room, and I'm demanding perfection for myself, and I'm demanding perfection from everybody else in the group. Um, I love to have fun. I'm gonna come in with a bright charisma, and I think everybody's gonna love me. I'm not a threat to anybody, but at the same time, like I need my work done. I'm a winner. I was born to be a winner. I've won most of my whole life, and I hate losing more than I like winning. And so, my first goal when I get to any team that drafts me is to win a championship my first year. And so, like, I'm going to do everything that I can in my power to make that happen. Every single day that I'm on that team, and I'm not going to stop to make that happen. So, um, yeah, they're getting a complete player, and they're getting somebody who's going to love and respect everything for the team. And yeah, I can't wait to get to work for somebody.
Man, he said he hates losing more than he loves winning. That's a bar right there. And yeah, I mean, that's the mood. I love it, man. I love this entire conversation and just getting to know you a little bit better. I mean, I think I can safely say a team would be very lucky to have you. And I mean, best of luck in these next few months, leading up to the draft, your pro day, as you prepare for that as well. Definitely going to be following along, and seeing how you do in that. And yeah, man, I do think you're going to put up some better numbers than some of the guys that are there at the combine. So definitely good luck with all that.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, and thank you for the call again. That's fun.
Appreciate you, Trey, and appreciate everyone that tuned in. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet for more prospect spotlight interviews like this one. But for now, have a good rest of your Wednesday. I'm gonna try to put my outro video if my internet allows me to. But for now, peace.